debates. If you guys have been paying attention, Asante Samuels and Deion kind of been going back and forth, just talking about foot movement. One is talking about the T-step, which is Asante Samuels, and the other one's talking about the bicycle movement when you're keeping your feet under you, like coming out of breaks and things of that nature. And that's what Deion coaches. That's what he kind of requires from his D-backs to use when they're playing for him. This young man, Lonnie Johnson from the Las Vegas Raiders, he's going to come on and give his opinion about that. But this segment is not about his opinion about the T-step and the bicycle step. I want you guys to really listen closely to what he has to say about the way that Deion coaches. So let me present this for you, and we're going to get into it. But again, it's coming from Coach JB Show again.
Last few days, man, Asante Samuel and Prom, they having like a little, I guess, disagreement. I'll say about the T-step, right? As a point, obviously, you know well what it is. I don't know. I'm sure it's something that you utilize as well. Deion he's a super against it. He didn't use it in his career, and Asante and amongst some others kind of went at him like, "You tripping? Like T-step is very beneficial. I made a lot of plays off that." And now I see Asante out here defending himself, showing out his stats, kind of trying to show, hey, my career is comparable to Deion. So that's a whole other conversation. But focus on the T-step. Do you agree with like Asante Samuel that the T-step is a great tool to use, or you more so with Deion?
I'm 100% with Asante Samuel.
Okay. He probably got a call.
Oh, did he?
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh, you good?
Hey, what? You in the old school? You in the old school right now? What whip you in?
I'm in an '87 Monte Carlo right now, bro. But I'm definitely with Asante Samuel on that one. I can't even lie. The T-step has been good for me. I know a lot of guys that's out here training right now. Like we all T-step. I am familiar with what Deion has said. You know what I'm saying? He even said it at our combine, like that the T-step, when he seen us out there T-stepping, he was saying he hated, which, I mean, everything don't work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like Deion had a hell of a career. Like he's obviously a GOAT in this game. Asante had a hell of a career. So it's like, what works for you works for you. So I can care less what worked for Deion. Like it might not work for me. So like if I was to.
So that's the first thing. If you hear, I can care less what worked for Deion. So if you look at the title that's strolling at the bottom, it says, "Are we losing this generation?" And I think a lot of people don't understand the power in their words. These are legends. These are people who reinvented the game. Like Deion not just played football. He reinvented the D-back position. This dude was prime time. What he's done for the game, there probably hasn't been another person who's transcended the football game in that manner at his position. Because there's other players in other positions, but in his position as a D-back, special teams return man, he was Revis Island before we created that term Revis Island. So, but I just want you to hear what he's saying, but then he's going to go into a little bit more.
To go to Colorado back in the day, and he would have tried to coach that and force that on me, I don't think it would have worked. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it works with every young man, and that's probably why a lot of people transfer, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, you cannot force something on a young man. You know what I'm saying? You got to adjust to what works for him if you want him to make plays. So
that's the second comment. You can't force something on a young man. You have to do what works best for him if you want him to make plays. See, I'm listening to the verbiage. And this is the problem with a lot of these college athletes. That's why you got these 6-year seniors, you got these 7-year seniors who keep getting in the portal because things don't go their way, because their career isn't going the way they want to go, because they can't adapt. If somebody's teaching you a certain technique, over time, repetition. What is it Bruce Lee that says that like he doesn't fear a man who kicks, he fears the man who done that kick 1,000 times. Wow, what is that? Let me look up that quote while I'm thinking. Let me play some of this video.
That's just a little bit of my coaching bag, you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're
Hey,
doing.
so wait. What you saying, dog? You think the McLean kid bounced because of the T-step?
I mean, I wouldn't say he bounced because of the T-step, but if you look at a lot of stuff that Deion has enforced, which is some of the stuff you would look at it, you would be like, man.
So this is the quote. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And that's from the great Bruce Lee. And that's what I think coaches are doing, right? When kids are going into a program, you are supposed to adapt to what the coach likes. Every coach has their specialty. I guarantee you that's why, like, the Belichick way or the Patriot way, that's why Belichick had to leave, because people stopped adapting to the Patriots way. And that one Patriots way that he's practiced 10,000 times was successful. That's why Brady got championship. Yes, Brady is a GOAT. He's a great talent, but also he bought into the Patriots way. And everybody who's won all those championships bought into the Patriots way. Now, if you notice, they're going through a revamping of this team because the whole culture has been shut down. And that's the problem with this generation. Just because somebody's trying to tell you a certain way to do it, and like he said, you are going to learn more things when you get to the next level. I know it was somebody who said they do the T-step and the bicycle. You know, you can do both, but it's all about creating that habit, doing something over and over again. You know, it becomes a habit. So now he's going to go into talking about how Deion coaches.
Man, come on, like what they got to do with football? Like
Philip,
kids wearing flip flops to class, or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Like I get it, you know what I'm saying. You want a kid to present himself as a man, you know what I'm saying. But like me personally, like that's just my personal opinion. I just look at it as like, man, look, I'm going to class. Like, why does it matter what I have on in this classroom? If I go to class, I do the work, I bring back the grades. The flip flop shouldn't matter. Like I'm here though. You know what I'm saying? Now if I was missing, then you can direct that attention towards.
So as you hear him there, he's talking about the way Deion doesn't allow his students to wear certain things to class. They can't go in this class with flip flops. But there's a great quote that says, "The way you do one thing is the way you do everything." And if you cut corners in school, if you cut corners in the dress code, if you cut corners, that means you're cutting corners in other places. And that's really why Deion has the rules that he has. That's why they have to watch a certain amount of time on film. That's why you have to practice a certain way to even get in the game. It's not about your talent, it's about creating habits. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if one day you take that day off and the next day let's say they're practice 4 days a week. If the first day you're always coming out sluggish, and then by day two, 3, and 4, you're ready to come out because you know you're trying to play in the game, he's going to notice that. That's the type of guy that he is. He notices when people aren't giving their 110%. And this is coming from somebody who literally, I lived on YouTube watching the Colorado bus practice. He was very transparent about what he expected from these people. Being late for meetings, what time they're supposed to be at breakfast. These rules are there because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And I feel like we're losing this generation because of things like this, because of the thought process of people like Lonnie Johnson. Yes, he made it to the NFL, but with that thought process, how long will he last in the NFL? And I think that's what Coach Prime is trying to do. He's trying to increase the longevity of people's careers, not just making it to the league. Because people could make it to the league, but can I increase your longevity of you being in the league? And the way that I increase that is by showing you the little things. And if you can do the little things correctly each and every day, you can do the big things. And it's like they say, people who make up their bed is more successful. So when you make up your bed in the morning, you're more successful. I try my best to do that. Some days I don't. But again, I know the same thing. I agree with that quote. I agree the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And you can see moments in your life where you're doing everything right and you're staying disciplined and everything falls into place. And then you can see when you let things go. Like I see it now. After I retired, I kind of became rebellious and say, you know what? I don't feel like working out every day. I don't feel like get up at 4:30. But I did those things for 20 years and I seen the success with it. And I just got to get back on it. But I want you guys to put in the comments, man, are we losing this generation because of that thought process?